Welcome to the Detroit Cast,
Big fan.
a show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulation.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Shots fired!
Shots fired. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast, powered by DealsOnTheD.com. Mike and Jay, Shalom, Big E. King, how are you, my friend?
Pleased to be with you.
Yeah? Doing all right?
Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing good. Doing good. I actually, I had the lovely opportunity. I stayed at Best last night, and so I had the wonderful opportunity to
Did
listen.
you get laid?
Oh, come on.
Mike, did you get laid?
Come on. Come on.
Don't make me smell your
So is that
finger.
a yes or no?
I just showered. Otherwise, I'd let you smell,
Yeah.
take a pick, dong, finger, whatever. Anyway, I was driving back, and my Sirius ran out. I finally went through my free.
Isn't that the worst?
Oh, it was just like,
That moment when it just goes to that 1-800 number.
Oh,
where
that,
you're
like,
supposed to call
ISBN
and
number.
Yeah. God damn it!
and it was like, it kept doing this too, where it was like, I'd be in the middle of an interview or something I'm listening to, and all of a sudden it would like go into update mode. And I don't remember it ever doing that before, but it kept doing that, like, I don't know, a couple times a week. It was just driving me nuts. But anyway, all of a sudden it was just gone. No more
So you're
Sirius.
6 months into your lease.
Yeah.
How many miles do you have on her?
2000
God.
something.
You're like a grandpa, man.
Dude, I wish.
I think. I don't know. I haven't really looked, but anyway, so I was like, what do I do? I wasn't prepared for this moment. I didn't have a bunch of CDs on hand or anything like that. And so I flipped over to Dave and Chuck the Freak, and boy, what I'd been missing.
It's a tough go.
That was literally the first thing I heard.
Yeah.
Someone said something, just like good morning or something, and it was met with. I don't mean to pile on those guys. I hear they're wonderful people, but oh my God, is
There's
that
a lot of
one?
nice
that
people out
is-
there that suck at their job. you know?
That is one unlistenable show, man. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I need to know. Someone has to explain to me how that show gets ratings that it gets.
It's that people are just sheep and they're unwilling to look beyond what's on radio.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
Oh.
And it's the only, quote, edgy thing on FM radio in Detroit.
Yeah, I guess
so.
there really is no competition, but I got to think that more and more people are just doing their phones. I mean, who it has to be that's it. That you're getting a big number of what's left,
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Hey, Wasik Insurance Services, they are the choice for all types of insurances, auto, home, life, business, commercial, and more. Owner Brent Wasik has 29 years in the business. Call him today for a free, no-obligation quote at 734-455-1900. Brent will personally assist you. He can review your current policies free of charge and give you recommendations. He's an awesome guy. Now's the time to give him a call. So call him today at 734-455-1900.
Coming up in just a little bit here, we are going to call Dick Morris.
Yeah, Richard Morris.
Yeah, he's got a new book out called Rogue Spooks, all about the kind of the intelligence war on Donald Trump.
The intel/media war
Yeah,
that he contends is going on against one Donald J. Trump.
I would contend that I agree with that. I don't know that I agree with everything he says, but I would agree that there definitely appears to be some sort of war going on against
It would
all
seem
those
so.
entities and Donald Trump.
It would seem so. And I think most people know who Dick Morris is, right? He's one of the long-time, maybe the most recognized political talking heads in the business, honestly.
Yeah.
Dude's been on for years.
Yeah.
Although,
I'll
in the
be
last
honest with
couple
you,
years, he's
I
not.
wasn't terribly familiar with him because I didn't pay that much attention years ago. And like you say, he's been kind of off the radar for a couple of years.
Yeah, last couple of years, I don't know if he's just exclusively writing books or if he ran into
Yeah.
something that knocked him off of Fox News. I don't know, but he was on Fox forever. Like O'Reilly, he was a main guest on O'Reilly.
Yeah, Hannity.
Main guest on Hannity. Yeah, and the interesting thing about him is he's flipped sides. He was hardcore
so
left Democrat. He led several of Bill Clinton's campaigns going back to the governorship in Arkansas.
Yeah. Yep.
And then ended up hating the Clintons and completely flipping sides for about a dozen or so years now.
Yeah, and it looked like he's done that a couple times. It's not the first time he's gone Republican,
He's
Democrat.
flip-flopping like a guppy.
Like a guppy. We need to hook him up with Mike Lindell.
This is Mike Lindell. Can you hear me?
That seems really weird to me. The idea of, like, I get it. If you grew up as a Republican and you just don't agree with where they're going, and so you flip teams. But the idea of flipping back and forth, it's like, I would hope someone is grounded in their principles, like what they strongly believe in, and there you are, and you ride that party. It just seems odd to do that. But he had his own issues. At one point, he when he was running Clinton's re-election campaign, I think it was in '96, and he got like 2 months before the election.
Yeah, he got caught up in the D.C. Madam scandal.
Yeah, I guess he was.
If I recall, there was some Inquirer pictures of him on a balcony sucking the toes of a prostitute, allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. But then he resigned shortly after those photos were displayed because he didn't want to be part of the story. So coming from that crazy world in Arkansas with the Clintons and now this new book, I guess he's supporting Trump. So we'll call him in just a little bit. Still don't have a motive for the shooter in Las Vegas.
Yeah, although it sounds like the girlfriend is being shipped back to the U.S. Is that right?
She's here.
Okay.
Yeah, she landed, I guess, 7:17 last night at LAX.
And if she has a brain, she won't say a word, right? Nothing relevant.
Dude, I don't get that because that's what they said. They're like, oh, they're trying to talk to her now. Does anybody believe that when they're like, oh, you're not a suspect. We're just hoping you can help us fill in some holes. It's like, you are a suspect. There's no way this guy has this arsenal, and you've been with him all these years.
The Orlando shooter's wife is being charged with crimes, is she not?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Same sort of scenario, I think.
This story is getting weirder, though, with this girlfriend, longtime girlfriend, who just bakes cookies for the family and loves her grandkids. So she arrives, and she's being pushed through LAX in a wheelchair. I don't know why she's in a wheelchair, but
Distraught.
Perhaps, with good reason. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Police revealed that she voluntarily returned to the U.S. in a bid to clear her name of any involvement in the massacre. Her siblings, a couple of her sisters came, but they don't live in the country. But they're like, she had nothing to do with it. She doesn't know
I think
anything.
they're Australian.
Are they?
Yeah, so you're going to have to change the voice.
Oh, crikey. She had not.
Put another shrimp on the barbie! That's all we know.
Yeah. I can do crikey. That's not a knife.
Yeah.
I could do that one. But none of their quotes have any of those sayings in them. So I'll just have to go with.
Do your best.
Fuck, I don't. Dude.
Give me a line.
All right, I'll give you a line. Let's see. What did they say?
She had nothing to do with it.
She's our sister is a good and gentle person.
Our sister's a good and gentle person.
Person?
I don't know.
I think it's got an uptick.
Person?
You got to uptick it. That's not a knife. I think it's got
A good and gentle person?
She's a good and gentle person.
See, now we're going Irish.
Yeah,
There's a little bit of
that's
an
the
Irish.
problem. Why do I always creep into Ireland?
I don't know.
I don't even do an Irish accent. Me lucky charms. That's about all I know. If I'm speaking native tongue in Ireland, me lucky charms is all I could get away with. She's a good
Pink
and gentle.
hearts, yellow moons, green clovers.
Green clovers, yellow moons, purple hearts, pink diamonds.
I'm sorry, I sidetracked you there.
Yeah, sorry.
I thought maybe you'd know that line.
Yeah, I should. I know that she don't know anything as well like us.
Ooh.
You
Is
wanna
there
try that one?
a white trash version of Australian?
Yeah, I didn't know. I know that she don't know anything as well like us.
I know she don't know anything as well like us.
That wasn't bad. That's not bad. She was sent away. She was sent away so she will not be there to interfere with what he's planning. Mr. Paddock told
How do
her,
they know that?
Good question. Apparently, Paddock was just like, hon, I found you a cheap flight to the Philippines.
There seems to be some
here's your ticket."
supposition going on, some conjecture, speculation.
Yeah, well, people are.
They haven't talked to her, have they?
No. I would assume. Well, maybe they have. At this point, maybe they have talked to her.
Did
I
they
don't
answer
know.
that question?
No.
That question would be lodged, would it not? Have you talked to your sister?
Yeah, that would be a fair question. I didn't see it in
Sounds
the
like the
interview.
reporter left that out because they didn't want you to focus in on the fact that this is all supposition.
Yeah, maybe. This
Because
is
then the reader would go, dude, they haven't even talked to her. How do they know?
Well, that
what's
was
going on?
That was my point with his brother, who's like, I haven't talked to him in a year, and then
Yeah,
it's like,
lot
he
can
would
happen.
never, and it's like, dude, you just said it. You haven't talked to him in a year. So here's the thing, though. There's a report out by Newsweek now that suggests that this Marilou Danley, I guess that's her name, may have been living a double life. Public documents show that she was married to two men at once.
Oh,
2 social security numbers,
One of these.
lived in multiple addresses in different states, and had 2 dates of birth. Yeah. So that's what we're dealing with.
You cunts!
And also, we learned this, and I'll get more on her in a second. They're the people from like their town, this little shit town they live in Arizona, Mesquite, Arizona, or whatever.
Is it a little shit town? And I think it's in Nevada, isn't it?
Is it? What did I say?
thought they lived
I
in
thought the
Nevada.
dude lived in a pretty decent.
Yeah, that's true.
neighborhood
He
and all
did,
that.
but I just meant small. It's a small little town. But yeah, he had that $400,000 crib. But they would go to Starbucks. They were regulars at this one little Starbucks. At the Virgin River Casino in Mesquite is where the Starbucks was. According to Esperanza Mendoza, who is the manager there, she said he abused her all the time. The pair always ordered the same drinks. Paddock would get a venti mocha cappuccino, and Danley would get a medium caramel macchiato. God, that sounds good.
Venti, I don't know. You're gonna have to translate. Is that
Venti's
large?
the large, yeah. I refuse to use that terminology. I was just reading the quote. Mendoza said the abuse came when Danley would ask to use his casino card to pay for it. I guess you get like bonus points and free pulls on slot machines. And then he would glare her down and say, "You don't need my casino card for this. I'm paying for your drink just like I'm paying for you."
I think he should be ashamed of himself. I think he should go into the background.
So this is what they had this argument multiple times. She acts like, oh, they would come in all the time and he would berate her. And here's how it would happen. And it was like, what, we're just like
Every
Groundhog's Daying this thing. Like they have the same argument every time. She would cower behind him and go, okay.
Okay.
Okay, she would meekly. Okay, I'm sorry. So mystery swirls around his, still his motivation, but puzzling details have emerged about Danley's life, according to this article by Newsweek. She came to the U.S. in '90 as, now try to follow the bouncing ball. Okay, this is gonna be a little bit of a shell game here, Jay.
Gotcha.
Okay, she came to the U.S. as Marilu Natividad, married to Gary Danley.
I thought you were going to say Gary Danielson, but okay.
No, that would have been. Wouldn't that have been a twist?
Yeah.
No one saw coming.
And that's the name she still uses, Danley.
Danley.
Okay.
In '96, she weds Jose Bustos.
And who wouldn't?
Why not? I hear he's a great guy. She changed her surname, though she did not dissolve the marriage to Danley until 2015. Both Danleys lived in. Both marriages were registered in Clark County, despite the fact that neither of her husbands lived there.
How do you register a second marriage when you haven't dissolved the first one?
Especially at the same county. Clark County, it's one thing if they haven't updated files. It's a small area, and you can slip one by them. But
What kind of clerk is working in Clark County?
I don't know. But neither of these guys even live here. But she's registered there. The Danleys lived in Arkansas and Tennessee, while the Bustoses lived in California. In California, her name is registered as Marilu Natividad Bustos, and her age is 55.
Feliz Navidad.
Yeah, very good. But in Nevada, her name is Marilu Lou Danley, and her age is listed as 62. What's going on here?
What?
She filed for bankruptcy in 2012 under the name Bustos, but she was still married to Danley and living with Paddock in Reno.
Bag up.
Are you able to follow all this
No.
so far? Yeah, let's see here. So sometimes they were saying sometimes her identities merged, when she was...
Why don't you level with me then?
So anyway, yeah, some of the ATF now is saying that no less than 12 of the rifles found in the room had those bump stock modifications. Have you seen that?
I've not seen it, but I understand it just turns a semi-auto into an auto.
Yeah, but it's kind of weird. Like, it takes the shoulder holster, and so when you...
The shoulder holster.
Yeah,
Be
like
careful here, Mike.
I know.
The stock.
Yeah. Well, it modifies where it bumps up to your shoulder, and it's got something that goes over by the trigger so that it makes it so your finger is the auto part of it. It, like, automatically does your finger for you. So it's not that it's... not like it's modified so that he just holds the trigger
It's just
down.
whipping the trigger.
It's just whipping the
Really?
trigger. Yeah,
I
isn't
didn't
that
know
kind of
that's how it
crazy?
worked, yeah.
Let's see. So we're getting our first images inside the room too, including the dead guy. They're showing his legs. You know how they love to do that? Just show you the legs.
Yeah.
We've seen Kurt Cobain's legs, dead
Right.
legs. They're doing the same with him. The SWAT team blew the door off the place, and so debris everywhere. This guy had set up these cameras outside and inside the room.
Apparently,
including-
it was not set up to film himself, though. It was set up on the little peephole going out.
Yes. There was
So
one
there
of
was-
those, one set up on a food service
Yeah.
cart outside. Like, how does nobody notice this over 4 days? I'm just shocked by that. You would think those things
Maybe
would
he
be.
didn't do it 4 days before. Maybe he went out
Yeah.
right before and set it on the cart.
Yeah, I guess. They said the cameras outside the room appear to have been used to warn him when the police got there. He was live streaming it in real time to a tablet back in the room, so he could watch
Yeah.
them coming in. He may have previously planned the attack, by the way, at another festival,
Yeah.
which was held back on September 22nd to 24th, the Life is Beautiful Festival. How did you miss the
That's
Life is
something I-
Beautiful
that's
Festival?
something
Is
that I
that
would go
EDM?
to, yeah.
Oh, shitty.
I know. That's something I wouldn't have gone to that, but it's something I would have gone
It's
to.
on your radar, huh?
Dude,
It was.
it's 5 miles from where this guy lived. 5 miles from where he lived. And he had apparently attempted to book rooms at the, I'll call it the El Presidente. It's the Ogden Hotel.
Interesting.
A luxury condo tower that overlooked the festival, as well as a hotel with festival views. He requested specific suites at both locations, but moved on when he discovered they were booked.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he just saw so much love there, man.
Yeah.
He just couldn't do it.
No.
I don't think that was the case.
The vibe was just so awesome.
It was too cool. These guys were doing peace signs and hearts, and look at all the people in the steeple.
Just got cold feet.
The Ogden is only 21 stories tall, and whereas the rooms at the Mandalay Bay were much, much higher.
Dude, did you happen to see the video that was posted? I think it was on abcnews.com yesterday, where there was a guy who probably his first venture out to Vegas, and so he was struck by, this is sweet, I'm at Mandalay Bay. So he actually videoed him walking into that very room. Check out my suite. This was like a year ago.
Oh, yeah, from like a year ago?
Yeah,
I did
a year
see
ago.
that.
And he actually starts by showing the room number on the door, opens the door,
Dude.
walks in, shows the whole room. It's just bizarre that that's out there.
How weird would that be to like, because you're like, oh, I'm
Dude,
staying at Mandalay Bay.
yeah.
I think I've got videos of that. And you go there and it's
Same
the
room.
Same room. That would be very crazy. Anything else? Oh, the band's playing there that day, at the Life is Beautiful. They had Chance the Rapper there.
Oh, man.
Muse, Lord,
Holy shit.
the XX, and Gorillaz. 45,000 people a day. I mean, that's it.
That's why I didn't go. That's why I've actually seen ads for that. It's because it tends to be there's more actual entertainment, not just DJs.
Yeah, it
That's why I
sounds
don't-
like it.
Which
Yeah.
is why I don't go.
Yeah, I was surprised when you said that it was EDM. I was like,
You know what? I thought I've seen the commercials for it, and I know they will have some at times, and it's kind of a mix.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, Zott Ford is conducting its amazing Key for Key event, as you know. Exchange your current vehicle for a brand new Ford without spending a dime out of your pocket. Zott Ford will assist you in terminating the remainder of your loan or your lease, no matter what you owe. This is a straight Key for Key exchange. Give Zott the keys to your vehicle. They'll give you the keys to a brand new Ford. Plus, Zott Ford will make your first payment. Please hurry. This is a limited time event.
By the way, the Wynn, the Wynn in Vegas, Steve
Yeah.
Wynn's hotel. They've,
WYNN.
yes. They're adding metal detectors. I'm shocked they don't already have that. I don't know why.
Not real. I'm not
I don't remember them, but it just seems like with all the security they have, it just seems like you wouldn't be able to make 20 trips to your car and bring up all these.
I'm just not shocked by it, I mean, we
Yeah.
don't live in a police state. You're not walking through metal detectors in most malls, and
Yeah. But if you tried to steal a pen from a desk anywhere in Las Vegas in one of those casinos, they'd be on you so fast. Like they're watching everything. And so it's really surprising to me that
it doesn't shock me at all, dude. How many times have you used those luggage carts? Probably you, not that many, because you
Yeah.
don't have kids and a family.
Right.
But you could take a luggage cart, throw 8 bags on there, take it
Yeah.
up. Nobody would ask
Blink.
a single question. Then if you're there for 4 days, you go down once every day and grab a couple more bags. I just don't see that as that troubling.
well,
Or-
now that you say it like that makes a lot of sense.
You just
and-
stack
I wasn't
shit
thinking
on
about
top.
those. Yeah.
No, we're not taking in camouflage rifle bags. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
A lot of these are probably broken down.
Yeah, the guns you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to
You're-
me,
you're right.
Vegas too. Honestly, like Vegas, like more than any place, people just wander from casino to casino. There's so much
Plus-
traffic in and
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
them. It's not like a normal
yeah.
hotel where you're just. It'd be like, whoa, what's this? Person? Wow, one person bringing 8 bags up. Or,
The dude was a regular there too, so people there who worked there knew him and knew him to have stayed there previously, and knew him there to have frequented the cabanas and
Yeah.
gambled there a lot. So
And E's got a good point too. People do just like go from the Luxor to the MGM.
it's
to the-
connected for one.
Yeah,
a lot of those are.
A lot of them are.
is the Luxor like the pyramid thing?
Yeah, the one that shoots up. You can see the light from space.
Really?
Yeah, Yep. Let's see. Yeah, so he says, I guess Steve Wynn has been on this kick for a while. Like, dude, this is a target city. Like, we have all of our security, like, looking inward, in-house instead of out. And so this is, most people are like, he's a kook. Because Wynn's been bitching about security issues for a while. So he's got, like, guys now with wands, metal detecting wands, and it sounds like that's going to be more top of the list for the rest of the casinos now, like to try to do something about
I get
that.
it, but that will suck.
I know.
Because then you have to pull your wallet out. Is there going to be people there where you have to pull the wallet out every time? And I mean, I understand why they're doing it. It's too bad because that's some of the fun of that place.
Lost a little bit of your freedom,
right?
didn't you?
I know.
Be taking our shoes off. Next thing you know, take your shoelaces out, E.
Right.
Yeah, they said they've got like they're like, oh yeah, there's tons of undercover and there's security that you don't even know, bomb and drug sniffing dogs everywhere. I'm like, those are the worst at their job then, because there are mountains of drugs in Las Vegas. Mountains. Like, what are these guys doing? Are they they're batting 0 for 1,000?
What shitty olfactory systems on
Yes.
these pooches.
Yeah, no one's doing cocaine in Vegas.
Oh my God! Did you hear this story coming out of Macomb Township?
Yes.
Oh, my
the,
God,
The couple that put the disabled woman in the shed.
They do make a good looking couple,
Oh,
though,
they're
don't they?
beautiful, aren't they?
I mean, just take a
What
gander at
the
them.
hell?
Yeah, I don't know. This is a crazy story, but they had like this 29-year-old severely disabled. I don't know what that means. I don't know what what constitutes is he severely disabled?
In some circles.
Yeah.
In others, he's king shit, you know?
Yeah, that's true. So this 29-year-old with mental and physical disabilities finally like wandered away from this trailer park where this couple lived. They kept her in the shed. They were taking her support money, so she's getting government money, and then they're selling her on the internet.
Dude, it begs the question, who is going and banging this chick in a shed of a mobile home park?
I just,
banging or getting a beach or whatever it is. Like, what the fuck,
dude,
man?
think about answering that ad, and you show up, and it's like, oh, yeah, she's in the shed. You're at some shithole.
You go back there, and according to the reports, they didn't allow her to shower or use their
bathroom?
mobile home.
Nah.
Yeah, so
Nope.
you can just imagine the state. It's basically a chicken coop.
Yeah.
You know, that this woman... And then you go in there and you want to bang that or whatever.
Like, do you know how far down the line you have to get, Jay, where it's like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna go for a hooker. Well, this one will do. Mobile park's not that far down the line.
Let's ask Isis, our resident hooker buyer.
No way.
You show up at a shed at a mobile home park. Do you even open the door?
No.
Do you peer inside?
Dude, no.
At what point do you shut it down, though? Like, say you do peer inside. It's like, all right, I'm here. I might as well just see what it is. You open the shed, and there's some severely mentally and physically disabled woman, and it's like, yeah, there's your...
Well, I paid my money.
It's like the female version of the dude in Goonies sitting in there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm picturing.
Yeah, I kind of am, too. We're talking about Misty George, good-looking woman.
Oh, yeah.
And Michael Welch.
That's the woman.
That's
that's
the woman.
I mean...
Is that a woman? We sure?
That's the alleged perp.
Yes. Yeah.
Female.
Yeah, they're not going to show the victim. This took place at the Westbridge Manor Mobile Home Park.
I tell you, Mike Welch could have done better.
Yes.
I would agree.
Doesn't look that bad.
He's kind of a hothead, though.
He looks menacing, you know. So he's not going to be able to get anything he wants. But I think he does better than
this
than Misty.
Yeah, Misty's got to be bringing a lot to the table. My guess is Misty's funding a lot.
She's bringing some tonnage, but I don't know what else.
Yeah, that's a good point. Michael definitely could have played it. He looks like he's in great shape, by the way. He got into a fight with the cops where they were trying to put him in the car, and so he tried to flee.
You know, why not?
I know, right? We're already here. Might as well fucking take a jog. And so they caught him quickly. You know, he tries taking off, one of those handcuffed guys. You ever see video of those dudes?
Oh, it's impossible.
I laughed so hard. I saw one the other day. Some black guy jumped out of a cop car, hand behind his back, and he's just trucking down the street. It's like, where are you going, dude? Like, how does this end? How does this end? You can't open a door. You're just fucked. Anyway, so yeah, they would, I guess this chick started living with them in their mobile park at first and was supposed to pay rent, but then she couldn't afford the rent.
So they're like, go on back. Go on out in the shed.
Give you the shed. We're going to take your money. and we're going to sell your ass, and that'll pay the rent. It's like, how steep is the rent at this trailer park? I mean, 3 people living in a trailer park, we can't figure out the rent?
No, they probably just realized, you know what? Throw her out in the shed. She's a dumbass. She won't object.
Yeah.
Plus, throw her on Craigslist.
Yeah.
We can pimp her ass out.
That's so bad, dude. I cry for humanity.
It's incredible.
You look at the people that are, you know, I mean, level playing field. They're right there with you, living a life, and it's like how you get. I just can't fathom. I just can't imagine
Treating someone like that.
treating another human like that, taking advantage of this person's disabilities like that. It's just remarkable.
Yeah, anyway, did we get those flutes so that E could eat your cum?
I don't think I more and more thought about that, dude. I really
Hold
think
on,
it needs to
Easus.
be my cum.
Whoa.
No, I don't.
No.
Well,
Listen.
I can back off all I want.
If I can get into my email at some point today, I will read an email response from Dr. Tommy, who's told us that there's nothing to worry about.
Oh, really?
Oh, there you go.
I don't believe
Nothing.
him. I don't believe him.
Oh, you don't believe the doctor? You believe yourself?
Over a person
Over a
who
doctor.
doesn't like me. Yes.
What do you mean?
I need a person who's impartial, an actual someone who I wouldn't.
You think Dr. Tommy doesn't like you? Is there any basis for that? I mean, that's
Yeah,
quite an
almost
allegation.
Every email he has.
What? How do you even remember a single email from Dr. Tommy? Dr. Tommy is an infrequent emailer.
Okay, I don't.
And I don't remember him ever saying a
No, he's
disparaging
not-
word about
Yo,
Big E.
He's not an E-hater.
No, he's not. Who are you thinking of, E?
I don't know. It
There are
doesn't-
plenty of them out there.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Tommy's
I
not
still
one of them.
think- I just think
He
there's
just figures
every
every
reason-
emailer hates him.
I believe that there's reason to believe that he would just lie. is what
Dude,
I
he's
believe.
got an autograph of you, E, in his office.
Dude, he's a medical doctor. He's got an obligation to watch out for your health. Do you
Okay.
think
He
that
does.
Yes, I do think he would lie.
Wow.
Dude, Hippocratic oath means nothing to him. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
For a quick laugh on a podcast,
A guffaw?
Yeah.
he's going to just abandon the Hippocratic oath that he
Yeah.
took.
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
Wow. That's a bold statement, E.
All right, what do we have? E? We've got a handcuffed guy running
I think. Yeah.
and just a rando here.
You got this, dude.
Oh, he's up. Oh, wow.
You got this.
Here he goes. Oh, wow. Oh,
You got it. They're not paying
he's
attention.
up. He's up and he's gone. See ya. Hell yeah. Now, if I can just find a friendly guy with bolt cutters, everything will be great.
Oh, I imagine he's going to be tackled, and it's not
Can
going
you
to be
imagine the
pretty.
face plant that you do running full speed with handcuffs?
You've basically given them carte blanche to take you down
At
hard.
best, you're separating a shoulder, right?
I think, yeah, at best.
Because you're going to try to roll under your shoulder.
I think you don't see it coming because you're going to be running, and that cop's so easily going to catch up with you, and he's just going to, he is going to lunge at your back and
Nose
send
and
you.
teeth.
Oh, you're losing teeth. You're from chin to top of forehead. You are just skid marks. Doesn't sound good, does it?
It's not a smart move.
No. Ohio superintendent. Boy, oh boy, I don't know if you saw this story, Jay. Do you have this video, E? He's apologizing out of Cleveland. He's been suspended.
This is like it's a news report. 'Cause
Yeah, I know. So he's been suspended after he was caught on surveillance pantsing a school board vice president.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this.
Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
What are you thinking, dude? Do you want to see the video? Have you seen the video?
I have not.
Go ahead, E. Do you have it there?
Of the incident
this guy
takes
here is the vice
place.
president
In it,
about to
you
get
can see
pantsed.
Superintendent of Maple Heights Schools,
Standing there
Dr.
leaning
Charles
on a
Keenan,
fence.
walk up to a
And
school
here he
board
comes.
member.
Wonk.
He says he's friends with at a football game. He tells
Shit.
the he tugged on the board
Shit.
member's pants, and the pants dropped. He says that was not his intention at all, and he
Oh.
feels horrible about the situation.
Feels horrible.
Was he trying to
The board
pickpocket
member,
him?
though,
What was he
upset
doing?
and told the school board about the incident. They met behind
See,
closed
I-
doors to discuss what
Fortunately,
to do.
there's a dude
They
kind of in the
decided to
way.
suspend
I know,
Dr.
I know.
Keenan for
So we couldn't see the size of the dong.
Yeah.
Right, E?
Yeah, that was my concern too.
Look at these people. Oh, here he is.
He was a board member.
Oh, my.
I think initially we were both in shock at what happened.
We were both in shock, yeah.
Obviously, following that, he was, offended, and rightfully so, for whatever the outcome of what happened. And so, in the end, there's a consequence that goes along with the action, which I fully accept.
Do you?
The responsibility and the consequence for what happened.
And it was just a situation that went awry.
We need to get back to the kids.
And,
It's all about the
we just want
kids.
to get back to where we're about the business of kids.
Of
That
course,
is our
of course.
focus. That's our board's focus.
That
And
is the
that's Dr. Keenan's
go-to
focus as
answer.
well.
Anytime something with the school, it's like we just, or politics. We just need to get back to the business for the American people.
Roll up our sleeves.
You know, these pictures of me blowing a guy in a seedy bathroom. We need to get past that.
I'll comment on it today, but then we're moving on. I'm never going to speak of it again.
Because I've got important business to get to on behalf of the American people.
And I'm not going to let the Democrats or Republicans, whichever side applies in this case,
right,
get me off track of what I'm here to do in terms of helping the people.
The people sent a strong message when they voted for me, and I've got a lot of work to do. It's time to roll up our sleeves.
They wanted change in Washington, and that's what I'm bringing.
And that's what these guys, we need to get back to the business of school and these children. Children are our priority. Now, granted, the superintendent is pants and the vice principal, but,
Dude, what good can come of tugging on someone's pants?
Yeah. I'm really embarrassed. I regret this. I never intended for his pants to come off the hips. Really? I mean, like...
You kind of did. You grabbed him.
We've all been in a pantsing situation, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything more horrible than being pantsed? Oh.
I'm not sure I ever have been pants.
Really? I remember...
I think people, I've never had, full dong on display. I know that for sure.
No. I've never... No, me either. But I remember in junior high once, I was wearing sweatpants for some reason, and someone did that, came up behind, and I mean to my ankles, dude.
Oof.
Sweatpants to my... And 7th grade... it's not survivable.
We're underoos on full display.
Whatever whitey tighties I was wearing at the time were on definite full display, and it's like you can't yank them up fast enough. Oh, it's horrifying.
Did you have underoos? I think those were too young for me and Mike.
No.
Underoos?
Underoos, I think they were called. They were
Never heard of them.
Superman and Batman. What do you mean, dude?
Underoos, not roofs.
Roofs? I don't. Okay.
It's roofs.
Roofs.
No, underoos.
I don't think so. I think I went to boxers pretty... I don't know when I started going to boxers. I guess.
Did you ever have themed underwear?
I think that I did at one point.
I'll bet
probably.
you did.
He would have had roos. I think roos are still around today.
Maybe
Roos
I did. I
were
don't
kind
know.
of the shit. You get the Spider-Man ones or Batman or.
Were they the shit, Mike?
They kind of were at that age.
Dude, we were too old for that. So I don't know what you're talking about when you say they were kind of the shit. We were way too old for that.
Really?
When they came out, yeah.
Maybe I was wearing roos in high school then.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't remember. But I know Beth's nephews are still wearing them.
I mean, my boys, I remember they had print with Batman and shit on them, but they
yeah.
were they weren't the little tighty whities with the matching T-shirt and all that shit.
Yeah,
they were boxer briefs.
Really?
But back in the day, they were the tighty whitey style.
Yeah. That's what I remember.
And they matched a T-shirt to Superman, Spider-Man,
Yeah,
Batman,
you're right.
Aquaman. I
Dude,
think even.
I wore stuff like that.
Wow,
Dude,
really?
When did those come out? Because I remember wearing them.
Holy shit, Mike. We were way too old for that.
Dude, how old is too old? 7, 8?
Dude, I remember when those came out and going, oh, yeah, those are for little kids. I'm not wearing those.
Huh.
But there's
Well,
Mike.
maybe you can look it up. Maybe we can...
kind of see, I guess this is an example. This seems like a really older version.
Yeah, there they are, man.
That's right in our wheelhouse, Jay.
Underoos.
That could have been us modeling on the
Look
cover.
at that kid.
Does he have a hefty package going there? Are they beefing him up a little bit? He seems a bit young, doesn't he?
Can we get a year, E?
It
Being
looks
the
like
year.
these are
When did Underoos
Okay, well,
come
these
out?
commercials say Underoos. When I Googled it, said 1980s. So
Yeah.
here's a 1980 commercial.
Oh, it's definitely the 80s, Mike.
Want to see a commercial or no?
Sure. Really quick. We got to call Dick Morris here.
1 second. Here it is. Shit.
It's Underoos!
Yes.
my webs. It's a real change of underwear.
Wearing underoos is fun.
Holy shit.
And you can choose from more than one.
I remember this now.
Dude, I do too.
And the Flash. Superman. Spider-Man. The Thing's a smash. Underoos
So which one did you have, Mike?
Yeah, something super new.
I don't know that I had any of those.
Mike.
I didn't.
You'll find the Underoos display where you buy underwear. It's underwear that...
Are you backpedaling?
Bag up.
Maybe. I swear I had some Superman something. Did they have T-shirts, just bed T-shirts of Superman and stuff before?
I saw Superman Underoos.
Well, I remember too. There were you could get sleepy. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, they're pajamas.
Pajama
Sure.
ones, kind of not. Maybe they were onesies. I don't know if they were onesies or not, but they would actually even have the cape.
He's got a
Once he's buttoning them under his crotch.
under his taint.
I think there was a cape though and stuff. They were kind of real
Really?
thin fabric. Yeah.
Maybe I'm just thinking about my mom making me the double cape. which was so badass. Maybe that's what it was.
And there
I
were
just remember-
definitely PJs that were themed, and kids wore those, and I wore those, no problem. But the underwear, dude, wow, that's holy shit.
Kind of remember.
Hey, got to tell you about the Hamlin Pub. They have 5 locations in Clarkston, Chesterfield, Rochester, and 2 of them in Shelby Township, as you know. Hamlin Pub offers a wide selection of craft beers, most of which are brewed right here in Michigan. They have great happy hour specials Monday through Friday, 2 to 6, and half-off appetizers on Monday. So check out all their specials at all 5 locations. Go to hamlinpubs.com for more info.
Jay, ready to call up Dick Morris?
Let's call old Richard.
The Intelligence War on Donald Trump. The book is called Rogue Spooks, and I believe it's time to dial him up. So go ahead, E.
Hi, this is Dick Morris.
Hey, Dick Morris. It's Mike and Jay from the Detroit Cast. How are you?
Hey, Dick.
Okay, good. Now, I can do 15, if that's all right with you.
15? Sure.
That'd be great.
We'll take what we can get.
Okay, great.
We're getting our 15 because of your new book, Rogue Spooks,
Yes.
The Intelligence War on Donald Trump. How's the book doing?
Pretty well. It's been doing nicely, and I think that it's so topical. It explains this whole Russia hacking scandal and how it really is an attempt for a coup d'état to oust Trump from office.
Yeah.
And we trace how it developed and how it began, and really lay it out for people.
Well, tell us in a nutshell how this theory goes, starting with the dossier.
Well, you have to start with the hacking, allegedly, of the Democratic computer right at the convention in 2016. And my theory is that this was not a hack, but this was probably a leak by Bernie Sanders operatives who were in the Democratic committee and were deeply upset because Wasserman Schultz, the chairman, was biasing the whole process toward Hillary Clinton against Bernie Sanders. And the documents that were leaked all related to that. None of them related to Trump. And the reason I believe that it was a leak as opposed to a hack is first a committee of called VIPs, Veteran Intelligence Professionals, who are not in the CIA but all former CIA, said that it would be impossible for a remote system to download all that stuff and then leak it. It had to have been done by somebody actually in touch with the computer and actually physically there. So then in addition, when the leak occurred, the DNC refused to let the FBI look at the computer, take it, or study it, which is strange behavior for a hack. In any case, when the documents were released, that immediately set up a narrative of blaming Russia for everything connected with the campaign.
Yeah.
And at that time, Hillary's people commissioned a dossier from a group called Fusion, which is a negative research group, and they subcontracted to a former British spy named Christopher Steele.
And we still have no idea who paid for this, right, through the Hillary campaign?
Right. We know it was $160,000, but we don't know which donors gave the money.
And what were they told? Just find anything you can on Trump.
Well, find negative data linking Trump to Russia.
Okay.
Steele was a former spy for Britain in Russia, and they felt that his sources would be good.
And he was credible. He was viewed as a credible guy.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
And he was because he had done work with the FBI before.
Right.
And but the data, the dossier that emerged was ridiculous. It was an absolute piece of garbage. It said that this whole collusion deal was orchestrated by Michael Cohen, who was Trump's personal lawyer.
Yeah, yeah.
And it said that he shuttled back and forth between New York and Prague all summer setting up the deal. And in fact, his passport showed he'd never been in Prague.
Oops.
And he was
Yeah,
stateside
sorry.
the entire time. They also had the name of a guy, Gorbiev, who they said was the one who orchestrated the hacking of Hillary's, the Democratic Party's email. And it turned out that he was in a prison camp in Siberia the whole time.
That'd be a
without phone or
little hard.
computer.
Yeah.
And then they even misspelled names in the dossier, which was ridiculous. And then they had that story about the prostitutes peeing on the bed.
Yeah.
So the whole thing got dismissed as garbage, and no media outlet in the United States would publish it. They were worried about libel. None would publish it, which is incredible.
Yeah.
That after Trump was elected, the dossier people, Steele and his company, were desperate to get this information out to try to stop Trump from becoming president. And they contrived to get the document to McCain, Senator McCain, who then gave it to Comey, the head of the FBI. Comey had seen it earlier, 2 months before, and knew it was garbage. In fact, he had his FBI men trying to authenticate it and had failed to do so. And but in any case, he decided to take it up to Obama and give it to Obama 11 days before the president left office. And it promptly leaked, which was Comey's intention all along, and the media now ran that story, which set in motion this whole idea of Russian collaboration at the start of Trump's collusion at the start of Trump's presidency.
In order, though, to get to the end game of Mueller being appointed special investigator and probably looking into things beyond Russian meddling and more into business practices that might lead to criminal wrongdoing with Trump, and as you surmise in the book, probably impeachment thereafter, Trump has to fire Comey. So how does this theory work?
We're not up to that yet.
Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
When Trump took office, when Obama took office 8-9 years ago, he realized that the deep state, which we write about, the permanent establishment, was white, male, and conservative, and would try to do him damage. So he immediately appointed, as his first appointments, Holder as Attorney General and John Brennan as CIA Director. And James Brennan. And Holder and Brennan proceeded to fire everybody in their agencies, huge numbers of dismissals. Brennan even completely reorganized the CIA structure so as to maximize the number of vacancies. And they filled them with really ultra-leftist operatives. The people who interrogated the terrorists were gone, and in their place were the people who represented the terrorists as lawyers. And when Trump took office, they got these folks together and they said, do not leave, do not resign, remain at your desks, remain on duty, and help us bring down this administration from the inside.
How do you know that? Do you have sources inside that tell you that?
No, but I do know that 1,000 people were transferred in the closing days of the Obama administration from political jobs to civil service jobs.
And that's public record that you've been able to review?
Could not be removed. And that was done literally in the days before Obama left office. And so that was, in effect, telling them to stay. And then they orchestrated a series of leaks to substantiate the dossier, which was so flimsy and so wrong that it on its own had no credibility. And the first of the main one of these leaks was 3 weeks after Trump took office on February 14th, when the New York Times ran a front-page story that the FBI had actually overheard conversations between Russian intelligence and Trump campaign staffers plotting the collusion to fix the election. And the story was totally untrue. Comey told Reince Priebus, chief of staff, that it was untrue, but made no public statement until June, 4 months later, when he admitted at a congressional hearing that it was completely bogus.
And Trump gets really frustrated and lets Comey go. He gets really frustrated by that, ultimately.
Exactly. And the point was that Comey kept meeting with Trump, and Trump kept saying, listen, there is nothing there. I mean, I want you to get on to the priorities I have for you for the country. And Comey then interpreted that as obstruction of justice, resigned, leaking the resignation, leaking the whole memos, and triggering the appointment of the special prosecutor.
Right.
So this is all a continuing conspiracy, a coup d'etat to get rid of Donald Trump.
But what happens if Trump doesn't intervene and fire Comey? Does everybody still lie and wait? They do it some other way?
Yeah, well, they figure some other way. Yeah. There are plenty of ways to get that.
So,
and the
so
important
why
point is
did
what you were just saying, which is that you now go beyond the collusion to the to every past business dealings Trump has had since puberty.
But that's the key. The key, though, is to get that special prosecutor in there because he has the discretion to do that. And that's what you say in your theory. Hey, Bob Mueller's he's gonna find something. I mean, this guy's been involved in too many business dealings. You could even indict a ham sandwich, is the famous saying. Now, if Trump doesn't fire Comey, though, the special prosecutor never happens because Sessions doesn't recuse himself because of the the interplay there with the Russian meddling and Sessions.
Well, Sessions' recusal
feeling
had nothing to
uncomfortable
do
with
with the Comey firing. It was back when he was being confirmed for Attorney General. He was asked about, did he have contact with the Russian ambassador? Again, this whole narrative spun out of the web of this totally discredited dossier. They didn't ask about the ambassador to Albania. This whole narrative was spun by the belief that there was collusion.
Right.
And Sessions did not answer accurately, although I think he did. He said that they said, do you know of any Trump campaign people who met with the Russians? And he said no, and later he said, I wasn't a Trump campaign person.
I remember that.
But nevertheless, he recused himself.
Is Trump sufficiently pissed at Sessions for recusing himself? Because this could be the end of him. I mean, if you follow your logic down the line and saying, Mueller's in place and he's going to dig something up, I mean, that was the linchpin right there, Sessions recusing himself.
Yeah, sure. Well, I think he is very pissed, and I think that Sessions has refused to investigate Hillary Clinton or go after any of the outstanding issues from the previous administration, and I think that is adding to the frustration.
Speaking...
But I do not believe that would be the end of the line. I think Trump needs to fire Sessions and needs to get an attorney general who's aggressive and on his side and can move ahead. I believe that the public is increasingly learning how flawed these charges are, and they know the difference between a money laundering charge against Paul Manafort and a charge against Donald Trump that he fixed the election.
Well,
and they're not going to tolerate the impeachment over Manafort.
Well, it's very scary to me when you think about, I read that dossier, Jay read the dossier, and it was such obvious bullshit. It just was. You read it, and it was so clear. You could, every bit of that looked fake and like a hit job. And so I wonder how Christopher Steele, a respected guy in MI6, and the FBI, and Comey, and Clapper, and McCain, the mainstream media, especially the mainstream media, how do they all fall for this and run with this, and then now it's just kind of gone away, and it disrupted everything for a year.
Exactly. I think that first of all, Comey said in a deposition, not Comey, Steele said in a deposition in the defamation action proceeding now in London that he did not write the dossier.
Right.
That was based on unsolicited information from anonymous sources.
Could be anybody.
And it could be anybody, but it's most likely the FBI and the CIA themselves. Who else would send information pretending to frame the Russians for collusion? That's not exactly something you cook up in your basement. And I think that when the full nature of this dossier is exposed, which it's not being because the justice is stonewalling that and Sessions is letting them do it, when that is exposed, this will in fact be fake news and disinformation that originated not in Moscow but in Washington.
Hey, Dick, you know the Clintons intimately. You're very clear. You very clearly take issue with Hillary pegging her loss in part on the Russian meddling point of view.
Yeah, of course.
And you approach this from an interesting angle that I've not otherwise seen much about, which is that Britain's interference in the 2016 election, you contend, was more damaging to Trump than the Russian meddling.
Hillary was not hurt at all by the hacking or leaking from her computer. That had nothing to do with the election. And the illusion that Russia had anything to do with it is also completely outlandish. Nobody can point to a single media statement or advertisement or campaign line or campaign fact that was untrue that would be linked to the Russians that had any consequence. A couple of Facebook ads isn't going to swing a general election for president. And but on the other hand, Britain kept pushing the line of Russian narrative, sending leaks to the CIA. Steele may well have been collaborating with MI6. And my basic thrust is that the real story here is not Russia intervening with the election. It's the deep state intervening with the election, whether in Britain or the United States, by creating this dossier, framing this narrative, and now attempting to use it to throw Trump out of office. And that, to me, is far more dangerous and far more likely than Russian interference.
Well, now that Mueller's there, do you think Trump survives 4 years or possibly 8 years?
Yeah, I think that he can. I think that the key to it is to maintain his popularity and grow his popularity as president. Nobody with a 60% approval rating gets impeached. When I worked for Clinton, he didn't get him. He survived impeachment with a 62% approval rating. The more I have a column that I wrote today that the Democrats are mesmerized by Donald Trump and by Russia, and that's all they talk about is Trump. And everything is phrased in terms of criticizing Trump. And Trump is talking about jobs, the economy, and doing a rather effective job of turning the economy around. And his job approvals in Rasmussen, which is the most credible poll, now has him up to 45. And I think that he's growing his way up to the status where you just do not get removed from office. And I think he can do that. I also feel that there is nothing there. And while you may be, and you can't prove a collusion with Russia, that I think is completely fiction.
Right.
And if you establish that Donald Trump may have been paid money, like Trump business may have been paid money to sell apartments in Trump Tower, and some of the people who bought it may have been Russian oligarchs or mobsters or something. Or that he, in one of his many business loans, took a loan from a Russian bank of suspect origins. If any of those are the case, which is kind of the worst case, I don't think that does anything. I don't think that proves him unfit for office. I don't think that's a high crime or misdemeanor he committed during his presidency or while he was a candidate for president. And I think that none of that would serve as grounds for impeachment. If we let this happen and we let this go ahead, no president is going to be able to take office without looking over his shoulder like they do in South America. What are the colonels thinking?
Right. Hey, going back a little bit, I know we've got limited time here, but you go way back with the Clintons. I mean, you worked on his campaign for presidency. Even further back than that, as an advisor and friend to Bill.
I ran all of his campaigns in Arkansas, except for when he lost.
I mean, did you guys worry back then? I mean, was it just a known thing, like how out of control he was sexually with women? I mean, there were complaints back then. Did you guys worry about that?
No. In fact, I was never even aware that it was a potential issue.
Really?
Until 1990. He was very discreet about it, kept it very separate, and the media did not scrutinize him heavily until he got into the presidential race.
And so
and
you don't
he's
think
not one of these guys who brags a lot?
Yeah. Well, do you think there's always been talk of what's up with Bill and Hillary? Like, is that relationship real? You've been there since the beginning. Do you believe that's a real relationship?
Well, I've gone through this 1,000 times.
Yeah.
I think that at the start it was real. I think that Hillary has always, back in the 70s and 80s, and even into the early 90s, deeply loved Bill. And Bill has always deeply loved Bill. So they have something in common.
Well, are there?
I gotta go, guys.
I know.
Thank you.
Lastly, can you please, Dick, really quick, tell us how Bill tackled you one day in the hallway?
Yeah, I've been through that 1,000 times. You can read it. In my
All
book.
right.
Thanks a lot, Dick.
Take care,
Good
guys.
luck with the book,
Thank
Rogue
you.
Spooks. Thanks, Dick.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
He was eating up all the time talking.
I know, man.
God damn it. I know you had a ton more questions. So did I. But
yeah, 15 minutes is too short. But what can you do?
It is anyway. There is stuff in here. I know people on the left are just going to go, Dick Morris is just a,
Here's what yeah, exactly. He's just a shill for one side.
Right.
It is an interesting theory. My problem with the theory is that if Trump doesn't fire Comey, obviously his theory doesn't work. Although he did say, well, it would happen somehow anyway. Okay. But the thing I took most out of the book is the latter part of it. He gets into a lot of the history on intel agencies, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And goes through the how those
came to be,
rose and fell, and why they are postured now to be in this position ripe to pick at Trump.
Yeah.
And so that's a pretty interesting take, I think.
Well,
worth reading.
It bothers me so much, I can't even explain it. Like, the point of your media is to not let these guys go rogue and then come out with these whack theories. Like, your job then is to vet those theories. And what we're seeing right now with 90% of the coverage on a lot of these stations is they're just taking this for, whatever, hardly vetting it or at least leaning to believe it. And so we're not really getting a true sense of, who's done what or why. It just makes the whole thing incredible.
Are you alleging that there's a left-leaning media? Mike?
Yes, I am. But Dude, I know that's a joke and it's been for 40 years, but that's really disturbing if you can't trust most of your media.
It's a problem.
It's a very big problem. And, knowing if you believe Dick Morris and Eileen McGann's book, Rogue Spooks, The Intelligence War on Donald Trump, there's a lot more damaging people on the right, the left, the media. Like, they're all together trying to take this son of a bitch down.
It's a reasonable theory. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like shill for this book and oh my god, this is what's going on. But it is a reasonable theory and it's an interesting one.
Yeah. Yep. Well, anyway, that was Dick Morris. Nice to talk Dick Morris. I mean, he's been around the block.
I've always
a few
liked
times.
Dick.
Yeah. Rogue Spooks: The Intelligence War on Donald Trump. Caught that.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hi, Michael Kowalski here, 4th generation of the Kowalski meat dynasty. But you can just call me the Sausage King of Detroit. And you know what, my friends? It's time. Time to roll out the grill, crack open the Jack's potato salad, sizzle up some sausages, pass out the pierogies, ice those beers, and unfold those chairs. Because grilling season is here, and it's time. Time to eat like a king. I'm Michael Kowalski, and I approve my message.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, welcome back to the Detroit Cast, powered by DealsInTheD.com with
Bag
Mike and
up,
Jay.
bag up.
Bag up, bag up. It is hot as balls outside.
Yeah.
It's muggy, like that muggy hot, sticky Michigan hot.
Isis and I went running, because we're on Team Dirtface. So
Oh, I know. That's this weekend, right?
Next weekend. Got to quick get some miles on these feet.
Hell yeah.
And I just felt like I jumped in a fucking lake. I mean, I was just drenched.
I was too. I stepped outside and I was drenched. I mean, just drenched. So I know how you feel. Basically did the same thing. Got outside, got some fresh air, body parts moving a bit.
Yeah,
and then,
good.
And then sweat.
Hey, don't forget about our TDC bookstore. We mentioned the Dick Morris book. Obviously, today we'll have that up in the bookstore along with all of our other books that we've done interviews on. And great way to support the show. If you're going to get the book, get it through our link. because it goes through our Amazon link.
It directly does.
Yes.
Yes. And I think some people will enjoy that book
for sure.
You know, if you're into kind of politics the way it's going right now, and if you feel like Trump's being unfairly targeted by some of these intelligence groups, you'll get a good understanding of some of it by reading that. It gives you some interesting thoughts, anyways. Some other things to get to. Did you see? Actually, I know you did see this, Jay. This peace marathon in Slovakia.
Yeah.
Dude.
This guy was going balls out.
Sure was. I mean, I love when the guys shit their pants. I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of the pants shitting runners.
Just shows at that point you give no fucks. You're just going for it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's great to see. And I guess it's the same thing here, although is my man coming into the finish line? Is that the deal? Is he's doing like kind of his final 50-yard sprint, just get there?
It sounds like it was longer than that even. Obviously,
Well, yeah, it's a longer race than that, but I'm just saying, is he coming into the finish line when his balls hang out?
I think so, but I think it was a long stretch of time with his balls out.
How do you not know your balls are
Dude,
out?
I was going to ask you, like, is it possible in those tiny little runner's shorts that you wouldn't know if your dick and balls is flopping out for 2 miles?
No, I don't
know.
think so.
I don't either.
I don't either. By the way, Kenyan Ruben Kiprop Cario won first place.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
The Bushman.
But it was Joseph Urban is the guy we're talking about here. Yeah, he clicked his way to the championship. Here's Joseph. We got some video there.
In all his glory.
Yeah.
I think he's doing it on purpose. This is something you would do, Mike. Right? Just whip your balls out and go, fuck it.
Yeah. Maybe.
It is distinctly dick and balls. Like, there's no question about it. He just...
Oh, yeah,
his
that's-
dick and balls are just out.
There's a helmet, a big bag. I don't know that I'm impressive enough to be able to pull that move off. Not that he is
He's
either.
checking his watch. I think he just doesn't know, man.
I love the guy filming it who can't stop laughing. Hear him?
Yeah.
I mean, he is full dick and balls on display. The cameraman has to know. Why are they still on him?
I guess there's some degree of numbness sometimes when you do, you know what I mean?
Full
Like,
marathon, dude, and he's running actually good times. Like you can tell he's an elite runner. He's not one of the regular runners. So,
well, I'll say this.
Maybe he's removed like the little panty things out of his shorts just for comfort, and maybe I'm just speculating.
Yeah. So you think it's an intentional move?
No, I think that's what he's saying. It's not.
Yeah,
He's
that maybe he's just adjusted his shorts such that he doesn't.
Dude, at that point, that's funny.
These people all have to see
Look
this.
at what the dick and balls goes through in a run, though.
Dude, that's
You know?
a lot. It
I
shouldn't,
think about
though.
it sometimes
Don't you have those
before,
like
dude.
mesh bathing suit things
That's what
under
I just
there? I know. But if he took them out, that's why I said intentional. Like this is what you would get.
But maybe he takes them out because it's uncomfortable or something, and then this is
Yeah.
the product of that.
Yeah.
But God, look at what the balls go through. It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing what the balls go through.
Yep.
Think about a try, being
I
on
know.
a bike for 112 miles or whatever it is, and then running a marathon.
Yeah.
Oh, the balls.
Yeah, they take a beating. That's why I always say they should have been kept inside us.
They're
They really-
interestingly placed.
They are, and I know they say it's for what is it, temperature and
A
stuff.
lot
like-
to do with temperature.
Yeah.
That's why they book up inside you when you get cold.
I will say this, E. You do a lot of. You like to consider. I mean, you're a pro period runner. You might want to try this move. This dude shaved 27 seconds off his best time ever.
Holy
marathon
shit.
time. So maybe the key, E, is having your dick and balls
Maybe.
hanging out.
That's true.
Well, we
you
can
try-
try it.
Yeah, I
Team
mean-
Dirtface is running in 2 weeks. See,
I think it need to be I think it really need to be the full, because I don't think it'd get as much attention. I forgot we're doing this because of the time. I don't know how much time it would save off just a 6-mile run, but I wonder.
Willing to try it?
What if you did it for a full marathon? I mean, this guy got on freaking all over viral video.
Yeah.
There you go, E.
Do a marathon next year and on purposely just like
Dick and
near the
balls hanging
end,
out.
just get dick and balls out and go viral.
Don't you
We're
think
at-
someone would run up beside you at some
we're a
point?
Detroit cat. That's a.
You
Well,
know,
here's the
and go,
problem, right?
Sir,
Here's the
just
problem.
So you know,
He's
can we be more discreet here? Your dick
Exactly.
and balls are hanging out.
Exactly. Here's the problem. He's an elite runner, so he's way up in the front, and he's actually like he's not gonna no one's gonna tell him what's going. But you're right. If I'm down
But if
back
you
in
hang
the regular,
if you hang back and you're way in the back,
If he's back with
No,
a
he's
turkey
right.
trot shirt on,
right, you're right. If
and
you're in the
Umbro
regular
shorts.
pack and running a 3-hour.
Umbros.
No, if you're in the
Somebody's
regular
gonna tell you to
pack,
put
someone's
your
gonna
dick away.
Hey,
Yeah,
yeah, dude, because you got people that
probably.
are gonna just be jogging by you at that point.
yeah. Hey,
just a thoughty.
Hamlin Pub supports the Detroit Cast, as you know, so let's make it a point to support them. With locations in Rochester Hills, Clarkston, Chesterfield, and 2 in Shelby Township, you know there's one near you. Hamlin Pubs have great food, ice-cold drinks, tons of craft beers, TVs, games, and great entertainment. Come on by or book your reservation today at hamlinpubs.com.
Haunted house season.
Indeed.
I don't look forward to these. I got to be honest with you. I'm just not a big fan of the haunted house. I know I'm not going to get hurt.
I like everything surrounding the haunted house, though. I like to go to the places around the woods. No, if they have like the bonfire going, and like
the hayride,
even, and like maybe some
warm tea.
I don't know,
some apples, some caramel apples,
part
candy
of it's
apples.
fall, the love of fall.
I just love fall so much, though. That's the thing.
You like hayrides, don't you? E?
I don't mind a hayride.
Well, there's an official in a haunted house in Southwest Michigan that's got running a little bit of trouble. They've got one of those like Facebook pages. And
are they actually killing people?
No, they're not going that far, but they are sexually harassing some people. Unfortunately, it's this new attraction that they've got, and that's not part of it. I mean, they don't say we'll sexually harass you. That's not in the list of rules, but. Some of the actors, they've had to address some of them.
Grab a titty here and there.
Yeah, there was specifically one guy, Archer Pena. Now he was just a visitor. He just went there. I think it's called Hooded, and I will never go to Hooded. I will not be at Hooded. But he posted a review and said the new attraction Hooded. The actors made inappropriate comments involved simulated male parts, and gave visitors a general feeling of being sexually harassed. Pena said he visited the Niles Scream Park with a group of about 30 people. He said about half of them went through Hooded and had similar negative experiences that he did. They didn't make me feel scared as much as they did gross.
I'm almost shocked this doesn't come out because there's so many haunted houses. Like, there's the big ones like the one that you went last to, Erebus and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
But there's so many like kind of just like small little town run and stuff. And I'm almost shocked they're more isn't
I can't
like,
imagine they're truly screening their ghouls and their zombies, etc.,
Yeah.
to act in the most appropriate ways.
like
That's a
grabbing a
good point.
titty or an
Because
ass
a lot of
here
these
and there.
assholes who do it are probably looking at it like, yeah, dude, I can just grab a titty.
Dude, it's
slap
set,
a hat,
and this
you know,
this
or-
one specifically is set up to be abused because it debuted this year as a sensory overload experience.
I would seize.
You would. Well, no, you wouldn't because
No
you're-
flashing lights?
You're hooded, dude. We're a PG-13 park. This is an R-rated attraction. Visitors sign a waiver that says they're 18 or older. It gives permission for the actors to touch them.
Dude.
Actors scare visitors with dialogue, other sounds, and smells. Visitors enter the attraction, and this is where I'm out, individually with a hood on.
No.
Fuck no.
No.
If I wasn't able to hug Jay and K-Dog through every inch of Erebus, there's no, I can't see you hooding yourself and going individually.
Hell
What's the point? Fuck no. To me, the only point, because everyone, I'm scared of these things, and I know I don't, obviously it's hard, I don't go on a lot of dates or whatever, but the main point of this would be to No, but it would be to take a chick or something, right? Like,
Dude, what a lazy way to make a haunted house, though. Yeah, we're just going to throw a hood on you and throw a dog shit in front of your nose. Oh, look, it smells gross, isn't it? Gonna kick you in the balls. Whoa, look out for that.
going individual, just no point. I think that takes away the whole point of the haunted
Obviously,
house.
they didn't have the creativity and or the budget to make something impressive, so
Right.
they just threw a hood on people.
Yeah, you're just walking into a freaking room, a dark room with a hood. And oh, it's
Tell us
crazy.
more, Mike.
Well, there's not a whole lot more. They've addressed this with they've talked to the actors and they've told them stop grabbing titties, stop grabbing dicks, stop it. All right, this is not what we do here at Hooded. You put the hood on them and you leave their titties alone. And so they're like, yeah. And so the one of the guys that runs the place is like, yeah, we're not about sex. We're about having fun and trying to scare you. So
hopefully that clears things up for Hooded.
yes, but I'd be interested. I mean, I guess it's on the southwest side of the state. So I mean, if we have to have listeners that would
Niles
go
is
there.
right on the edge of Indiana and Michigan.
Yeah. So if any of our listeners make their way to Hooded, I'd love to hear.
Let us know
how the experience was. Yeah.
Our friends at Zott Ford M59 Chrysler Jeep in White Lake are throwing an incredible Jeep celebration. Because of their tremendous volume and massive inventory at Zott Chrysler Jeep, you can get better deals than anyone on the planet, at least in the podcast world. So right now, lease a new 18 Jeep Compass four-wheel drive at just $129 a month. Yes, a brand new Compass can be yours for $129 a month. Surf their super-duper deals and their massive inventory at dealsinthed.com.
Oh, did you see some Team USA soccer people got in a little trouble at Disney World?
Booted out of Disney. Were they in the World of Beer part of Epcot.
They were in Epcot, but I don't
Whenever
know
you hear about people getting in trouble at Epcot,
yeah,
it's because of that damn World of Beer thing, dude. They've got like 15 countries, and you can go to each one and have a beer from their country.
So that's what they would have been doing if they were on an 8-hour drinking binge?
Oh, fuck yes.
Okay.
It goes all around this lake, and it's kind of like the main fun adult thing to do at Epcot.
It says the group became rowdy when, let's see, who was it? Giles Barnes? Chick is that a chick soccer player? Because Alex Morgan.
Yeah, Alex Morgan is one of
the.
the...
It's a big name.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only one I know. And Danny Toya? Toia?
Oh, is that... no, I don't know that name.
They got rowdy when Barnes reportedly cut in front of someone in the United Kingdom Pavilion area in the Epcot Center. So they don't say World of Beers, but they just,
That's what Epcot is, though. It's like various countries.
Okay.
And so
so they were
they're
United
in the United Kingdom part. They want a beer.
Gotcha.
They cut in front.
They got they were yelling and screaming. Morgan, oh God, this is the worst when you're drunk. And it's like, I know the Orlando SWAT team. There's nothing more douchier than, do you know who I am? Or do you know who I know? Here comes. And it sounds like one of those. I guess they were verbally abusive to all the cops. The incident occurred, like I said, in that UK section. Witnesses said that Morgan and Danny and Barnes began quarreling with another group of people after this incident. Eventually, the altercation ended with sheriff's officials intervening and kicking all of them out. They were being belligerent, screaming, yelling. No charges filed, though. Orlando City SC released a statement. The organization is aware of this situation. The club will address this matter internally when there's a full understanding of what occurred.
Oh, they all play for them?
I guess. I think there's a pretty full understanding about what happened there.
They're fucked up.
Your team got all shit-faced and started acting like assholes.
Jay's definitely right, because here's the post. All around the world in 8 hours. No big. Which is saying however many bars there were, they did it in 8 hours.
That's what you do.
Hell yeah. Dude, an 8-hour drinking binge sounds like my phone.
It actually sounds like a lot of fun.
Does
haven't
it?
Done that in a while?
I don't know, dude. An 8-hour drinking spree. It sounds fun, but I don't know.
Amazon link, please. Everybody use it. You know where it is. It's on DetroitCast.com above the fold. Great way to support the show.
Should we get to some email, Jay?
We should, Mike.
Do we have some email?
We have some email.
All right.
Let me see here. Do we have one from...
Russ?
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
We do have one from Russ. Dear heroes, that pissing in the sink story, my boner couldn't be any more bonery. Outstanding journalism.
Oh, the chick.
The chick at the Seeger concert. Here's my question. Did they end up cleaning those bathrooms after that?
If someone
As
didn't
much as
report
they
it,
clean them, I mean...
Why?
What do you mean?
They're done. Nothing else is going on at the Palace.
Oh, that's a good point.
Did they clean up the Palace? Are there
Why would they?
Beer cups strewn about the Palace right now? Or did they clean it up with the hope that, you know what, we're putting this thing up for sale officially?
Well, look at the
they
Silverdome.
Must, right?
Look at the Silverdome.
Yeah, but
I mean, the Silverdome was like they had years worth of files and filing cabinets. All that shit was just left.
Yeah,
and
but
people rummaged through all that stuff.
I think they probably did a spot clean of the Palace.
Yeah.
Because it's officially for sale.
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck would be able to buy it, but...
It's just a shame. The Silverdome was such a shithole. By the way, have you seen people piss in the sinks before?
Sure.
Yeah. I remember, dude, I mean,
dudes all the time, yeah.
I'm not going to name names, but it was someone...
Have you ever seen a chick piss in a sink? I've not seen that.
No. But I was with a buddy, and it was one of those, we were at, like, Meadowbrook or something, and we were going to this show, and you guys would know the name of the person, so I'm not going to out them. But he went up to the sink, and because there was a line, he's like, fuck this, I'm just going to go to the sink. Baby! And unzipped, and it might have been his kid, not him. But unzipped and laid out, I don't know, 12 inches of soft dick into the sink bowl and just stood there with his hands on his hips and just whizzed into the sink.
Hand on the hip pissing. I've never understood that. It's a generational thing, I think.
I think it was more a move of like, stand back, motherfuckers. Get ready to take this all in.
Yeah.
You know, I think it was more of a show up because it was like, this line.
Bag up.
This line didn't feel like it was that long. It was like, I think that was more of a move to get the hands on the hips and make sure everyone's gander at that.
I was going to say, one thing I did like also at the new arena, at least in the bathroom I went, which I assume it's in all of the ones, the bathrooms were there, and there was a a place to put your drink. Like there was a shelf.
Oh, okay.
Instead
nice.
of just like
Oh,
this
that's
weird
very
move
nice.
of
Above
like
the
trying
urinal?
to like put it on there or hold it. And
You wouldn't want to put it on top of there.
What are the urinals like? E? Do they have?
they were
the-
nice. They're
Is
they're
it
real
trough?
ones. No,
God, I love the trough, and I love the floor to midsection.
I actually do like
Those
those.
are great.
I hated the trough as a kid, though. Just being at dick
Yeah,
level,
it's
you know, that kind
uncomfortable,
of thing.
But
Where
once you're an adult,
yeah,
Got all these adult hogs all around you. and you're
adult
just like,
hogs, and it
yeah.
doesn't make sense why mine's bald and tiny, and that guy's is
such a
huge.
weird thing if you're a
And there's
7-year-old
there's
kid.
always some guy ripping a huge fart in there, and
Yes.
you're at butt level.
And they're drunk. If you're at a place where there's a trough, you're not at just the movie theater. You're at the
No.
game where some people are drinking some
You're
beer.
7, you've got your pants around your ankles,
Yeah.
your underoos at your knees.
You're hopefully past the stage where Dad's picked you up by
Oh
the
my
under
God.
the armpits and lifted you a little bit. So you can
Hated
get in
those
there.
days with my boys.
Oh, it's the worst. And there's always, of course, it's just like hip to hip to hip to hip the whole way around, and these giant dongs are just spraying clear beer whiz.
It's a confusing time.
everywhere. It is a confusing time.
But as you become an adult, you appreciate those because you don't have to wait for shit.
Yeah,
Just
that's
walk
true.
up to a spot. Hey, Jay writes in saying, so let me get this straight. Big E gets media passes to shows, and his review of the show is lackluster. He pays for him and his dad to go to a show, and he describes the fun and excitement that he had. My deduction is Big E free tickets equals shitty review. Big E pays, a.k.a. uses his hard-earned money for tickets, equals better review.
No, it's because that event is something that the people in this room or the people listening to the show care about.
Yeah, I'll give you that, E.
I would talk up for a half an hour about it. I'd talk for an hour about Imagine if you want. Like, and how awesome it was.
No, that's okay. My further line of questioning for Big E is when he purchased beer, did he tip or not?
Oh.
Or did
No,
you
I
make
went
your
to
dad?
I went to a beer concession stand and got a hot dog where you apparently don't have to tip. I didn't go to a bar.
John writes in concerning high school football players. Oh, Mike, we hit a nerve.
Oh, did we?
We hit a nerve.
What, we called them douchey?
Hey, Jay and Mike, his
warriors?
kid's a high school football player. And he's no douche, says John. He's
right.
been playing since he was 9. It has taken lots of dedication and discipline from late July, early August until November. Every year he puts in 3 to 4 hours practice every day. And even before school is over, in the spring, he's in the gym every day up until camp. Playing football is all he loves. Tell me again how my kid is a douche.
You gonna be an NFL player?
Nothing wrong here, just a kid doing what he loves, dedicating himself to be the best at what he loves.
Well, does he wear the bicep?
I know.
The little
Does he have
wristband?
the eye black and everything. Is he a warrior out there?
Does he do the war paint like all the way down his face? Does he think we're going to battle?
I hope, John, I know, John, that your son is a lot more than a high school football player. I hope his whole identity is not such that it's wrapped up into being a high school
There
football
you
player.
go.
And that, I think, is maybe the douchery
Yes.
that exudes itself most with high school football players, is they have very little other identity. It's clear.
Yeah.
They're warriors. That's it, baby.
And it's the whole joke of the polk high, 3 touchdowns, like
Yeah.
you're living on that 30 years down the road. That's the guy that we're talking about.
Moreover,
And-
why can't football players be criticized? Smart kids are criticized.
I know.
Band kids,
Yeah.
cross-country kids,
Soccer fags.
retards, soccer fags. Why can't we rip on a high school football player? Why are they out of bounds? Because they work hard? Because guess what? A lot of these other
Dude,
kids in
cross country wasn't
activities,
easy, man.
they
no
work
offense.
the fuck. Yeah, and to say, what's he do? He goes August to November. Great.
I ran
so,
all
so
year
does every
long.
other sport.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he puts in practice. Even in the spring. Dude, most sports play spring and fall and winter, honestly. So, dude, it's not out of bounds, man.
No, I don't think
There's
it's out
some
of bounds.
douchery and everything. And dude,
I think we've met his kid, by the way.
here's the other thing I'll say. We're all douchebags.
Yeah.
I mean, we engage in douchebaggery all the time. Why can't we
Jay
call?
calls both of us douches on a daily basis.
I design interiors.
Yeah.
Why
Douche.
can't I call out a high school football player for being a douche, thinking he's some sort of big fucking badass warrior?
Yeah.
Wearing
what is it?
fucking
What-
war paint, essentially.
What was his names again? John? Was it
John.
John's pulling a freak. I don't remember the actor name, but John's pulling a little, to me, that dude that did the chef on South Park, where it's like, this show is all about making fun of everything. He probably laughs all the time when they make fun of me or Mike
It's a
for
good
being
analogy,
fat.
E.
And like one thing hits and he's like, I'm out. Just like the chef did when they made fun
Isaac
of every...
Hayes.
Yes.
Isaac Hayes, who was a Scientologist, and when they did their big crushing Scientology
Oh, that's
episode,
right. He's out.
He fucking bailed.
I'm out.
I was like, dude.
No, everybody's got their thing, I guess.
Yeah, I used to see this a lot. It's remarkable how many people would send in emails on the Drew and Mike show.
Well, this
It's
one
like,
thing.
All of a sudden, it's like, I've been a dedicated listener for 12 years. I've never missed an episode. It's the greatest show ever. But today, you've finally done it and crossed the line.
Because you're
and it would be something like dumb.
Well, not to them though. It's just their sensitive nerve, and everybody's got one or two or whatever.
Yeah.
But what I would say to you, John, is your kid's way more than a high school football player.
Yeah, we've met his kid, and I like his kid.
So the thing
Nice
you got to
guy.
do is, realize everybody's going to be ripped on,
And realize too, we're not saying every kid that plays high school football is a douchebag. That's absurd. Just a lot of them are.
We can't individualize it out
And
to
we're-
every high
and-
school player in America.
I mean, if you want, we can take a look at your kid. We can get him out there on the field. We can see,
Yeah. We're specifically,
we can make the call.
I think we're specifically talking about guys like we went to high school with, and every school has them where, as you said, their whole identity is wrapped into football, and they live for Friday night, man, and they're wearing their jersey and the eye black and the whole thing.
And guess what? You see them 20 years later, and it's still kind of the same thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, what Jay and I found was at Harrison, it was a big football team. It was a big football school. There were kids on there that were great, that went on to D1 programs, and then there were a lot of really shitty, not even talented athletes, couldn't ball. They maybe they got in and
But they were the first ones to go soccer fags as they're walking by the field.
Yeah.
Like, fuck
Or,
you, dude.
What are you doing at this party, fag? This is for football players. And it's like, dude, I'd run laps around you on the football field. Are you shitting me? I couldn't believe it. One day at soccer practice, I'd done something like rolled an ankle and I had to go get taped. And remember our soccer field, like where we practiced?
Barely.
You had to go around those tennis courts, and then if you went towards the school, the football team would be practicing on that upper spot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. And there were a couple football players that weren't playing. They were all suited up, and they, for whatever reason, they weren't part of the drills. And I remember coming out after getting taped up. We might have been done with practice at that point, and picking up a football off the ground. He's like, "Yeah, let's throw the ball." And I'm throwing the ball with this football player, and he's like, "Oh, pretty good arm." I'm like, "Yeah, you have an awful arm. What are you doing on this field?" He's throwing like a fucking girl, and I'm just firing balls at him. It's like, dude. And he would have been the first. I'll tell you the name when we get off the air. He would have been the first one rah-rahing through the hallways about, king of the football squad. But
San Dimas High football rules.
yeah. Paul Kai, 3 touchdowns.
Al Bundy.
Dr. Tommy writes in.
Oh, boy.
Dried semen experiment. Load donor, load recipient, and load scientist. First off, I am always happy to answer any medical questions that come up on the show. Anytime, anywhere, I have included my cell phone at the bottom of the email.
Oh, I'm going to call him and ask him if I'm dying later.
If I have something else going on at work, I will kindly ask the patient to leave the room so I can take your call. In regard to your experiment... Dude, he's an emergency room doctor.
I'm going to need that cell phone.
Excuse me, madam. I'm going to have to step outside. I have an important call.
He's in the middle of surgery. Hey, guys, you want to grab this end of the clamps? You grab the other one. It's just going to be a minute. Just hold them still. I'll be back in 5. What do you need, guys?
In regard to your experiment, while horrifyingly gross for me to picture, medically speaking, E is at no increased risk for contracting any infection. But here's the key. The semen needs to be dried for a few hours to be safe.
Okay.
Obviously, the two concerns are bacterial sexually transmitted disease, such as gonorrhea, syphilis, and chlamydia.
I might have one of those.
Namely, and viral STDs such as hepatitis C, HIV, HSV, herpes simplex, and HPV, the culprit behind Doug Michaelis. Throat cancer.
Let's just assume I have 1, maybe 2 of those.
Okay, well, don't worry. First off, in regard to the bacterial infections, allowing the semen to dry, ideally room temperature or colder, prevents the bacteria from proliferating and thriving, and therefore these pathogens rapidly die off. Although it is possible to get oropharyngeal chlamydia or gonococcal infections, this is secondary to, quote, drinking the semen from the tap, end quote, if you know what I mean. Big E probably does. And who cares anyway? I can call in a prescription for antibiotics, and Big E would be just fine.
Yeah, E, nothing to worry about.
These are all curable.
Here's where I think you would have to worry. E. If we were doing a say the gag we were doing was I was going to butt fuck you, not just have some dried semen on the tip of a flute. But if the gag was, hey, E, let's butt fuck E, and I was like, all right, fuck, I'll man up and do it for the team. What a homo. And then E bent over and he's got tears in his asshole tissue. And then we would have to be concerned if I had tears on my dick meat
That's
tissue.
really astounding.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because then
the transfer,
when I get to really fucking pounding into E.
That's why homosex so effectively spreads HIV.
Right. Because it's hard to tear the
anus
tissues.
always tears.
Yes. It doesn't naturally lube like a vagine. A vagine is like, oh, please, come in here. Please, I love you.
In and out, in and out, in and out.
And
I invite you.
If you're doing it right, E, it should be wet. You shouldn't have to lick your fingers to get it going.
Thank you.
It should be automatic. But yeah, if you were going into a dry butthole and there were some tears, then I'd say you got some concerns. But
as Dr. Tommy points out, this
Sure.
is all no problem. The viral stuff is what you have to worry about a little bit, he says. While treatment for hepatitis C and HIV have come a long way, there is no cure for HSV and HPV once contracted.
Yep.
While the subtypes of HPV that cause cancer are prevented by vaccination, I doubt that Big E would have received this vaccine given he's almost 40 years old and this has only become a common vaccine in the last 15 to 20 years. Regardless, viral pathogens causing these STDs cannot survive extended periods of exposure to air. While most will lose viability after 10 to 15 minutes, drying the semen overnight will be the safest to prevent viral transmission and any chance of bacterial infection from Mike's plagued panus. Now, in summary, let it dry to kill the viral pathogens and let it dry at cooler than body temperature to kill off the bacteria. And I second Jay and Mike.
So fridge it? Am I supposed to fridge it?
You
Is
could.
that what he's saying?
You could.
So dip it while it's warm. I want to dip it in the mason jar.
You want to apply it while it's warm, I believe.
And
get it on the flute.
Yeah.
And then maybe I'm picturing maybe a piece of parchment paper, wax paper.
Okay.
Throw it on there.
I have that.
Throw it on there and just place it into your refrigerator.
Now I want to make sure that the flute is elevated, even if it's just a cap to a water bottle or something.
Sure. Just prop it up so that it doesn't stick.
I don't want it to stick to the wax paper.
I don't
or
believe it will to the wax paper. That's why I suggested that. But maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how that would play. But
I've never dried semen before, so
yeah, I haven't really either. E probably has experience with that. My fear is like the caramel apple on the wax paper, and you know how it gets that flat part that meshes out and kind of sticks like that. I don't want the flute and
have to take a spatula.
Yeah, I don't want
putty knife.
Thank you. Take the short route. I don't want to spatula my, I don't know, for lack of a better term, cum flute off the wax paper.
And I second Jay and Mike, says Dr. Tommy. Medically speaking, Big E's semen probably tastes quite a bit different from the norm. Enjoy your experiment and don't let anyone put a damper on your curiosity, especially you, Big Ephus. Goodbye, BUI, Dr. Tommy. And it includes a cell phone number. I will keep that.
Excellent. Love it. E, you feel better now? As long as you're not drinking from the tap, it sounds like you're good.
This had better fucking be a hand job too. Remember, there is no blow job or sex to be
Yeah, we don't want to
happening
taint it with any of Beth's saliva or vaginal fluid.
Yeah.
No vaginal secretion.
All right. Well, butthole's pretty dry.
No.
All right, fine, pussy.
Well, the
I'll
other
just
thing is I
do
don't
the
want. No,
hand
it's, the
then.
other thing is I just don't want you. This notion that you're gonna go.
You don't
get
want me to
at
have
the
fun. You don't want me to have fun. That's all this is about. This is
I
you're
think
just.
I think. Yeah.
I think, Mike, I think that's fair. If he's going to eat your semen, maybe not have the most fun getting it out of you. Just whip it out, dude.
You're still gonna be
It
getting it
sucks
stroke
for
to
me.
completion.
I know, but stroke to completion is not the same as vagine, mouth, or butt. It's just not.
Maybe throw in some of that rape porn that you love. You described it the other day where the girl has the toilet seat around her head.
it's
and
just like fucking choke on it.
Yeah.
Fucking choke
Yeah,
on
the
it.
rape porn.
Put that
It's
on
not
the
rape.
TV.
No, it's
No, it's not
no,
rape.
no.
No.
It's consensual. But when the mascara is just streaming down
Yeah.
her face, and the coolest
You like her to
part
be
is
suffering.
well, she's obviously struggling for air. Her eyes start bulging,
Yeah.
and it's like fucking good. And then he'll like grab her head and like hold it at the base of himself, and so she'll start going, and then you'll see like, at first you'll see spit come out of her mouth, and then you'll get these impressive like snot rockets when she's really gasping for air. You guys don't watch this?
No, I
guys haven't
don't.
seen
No,
all
I don't
this?
watch rape porn. But you can watch that while you're whipping it off.
Okay.
I'm kind of with Biggie. Biggie's only suggestion, only requirement is that you not have the greatest time whipping out this load.
Well,
And that's
fine.
fair. To me, that's fair, man.
If his argument was, I want her to use the hand so that I don't get any of Beth's
both. My
saliva
argument
or
is both
whatever.
of
I
it.
know, but your big thing was, I don't want you to have fun. So it seemed vindictive. It seemed
No,
more,
it seemed
more
like
of a
I don't
personal
want to be part of
attack.
your fetish thing. I think that possibly this is just something you've wanted for a long
Wow,
time.
E,
And
wow.
Oh yeah, it's been a lifelong dream to dip a flute and cum and make you drink
Who
it.
is the one who watches the porn that you're talking about, and who isn't, dude? That's disgusting to me.
What is?
The porn you're
I think we've
describing.
tapped into something here, E.
What?
Something diabolical.
Wait a minute. Are we
and
talking
strange.
about two different things? My lifelong dream has been to what? Make a
That's
chick
not what I
gag on
said
my
your
dick,
that's not
or
what-
make you drink semen off
That's
a
not what I'm
flute?
even saying.
E is saying, dude, there's deviant shit going on here. You want him to eat your cum off a flute, and your love of that porn
Well-
is only indicative of this strangeness that we've tapped into the last couple of weeks.
All right, it wouldn't.
So all Big E
It wouldn't be
asks-
the worst thing in the world for E to eat my cum off a flute. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Cam writes in, not a boner ad, Mike's undue pressure. King cult leader, semen to the mouth recipient. Regarding E sampling Mike's load via a flute, E makes the reasonable stipulation that he needs the flute dipped in the semen. Mike countered, saying that this puts undue pressure on him to deliver an impressive load. Mike has a good point there. This is pressure. It can cause him to underdeliver if he's able to deliver at all. Undue pressure can have some devastating effects. Of
course.
I've written in many times over the last couple of years about my own fertility issues. Thank you for doing that, Cam. Earlier this year, my wife and I did one round of IVF. IVF is the Super Bowl of fertility treatment.
Yeah, it's
Doctors
expensive as shit. Too.
Doctors are going to try to take my goods, mix them with my wife's goods, and make a baby in a test tube, then inject that baby back into my wife. This meant I had to produce a specimen of man nectar the morning of the procedure. So here I am in a room in a hospital that has a lazy boy recliner, a TV, and some porn on a DVD player.
Yeah, that is so creepy, dude. Those
Shit
rooms
exist? These rooms in hospitals.
Are you
exist?
kidding me? Yes, they have
been in one?
I've seen them. Yeah. They've got.
Why
like-
have you seen those?
I actually have a friend that went through the same thing, and that's what
Is
he
his
had to
name
do.
George Glass?
No, George Glass. No, you do know him actually, and he had all kinds of trouble. They spent upwards of $100,000.
Oh my God!
Yes. Yep. Because if it doesn't take the first time, you're out. You're $40,000 or whatever it cost. If it's the same treatment, that's what his got to. But he was telling about those rooms where they've got old playboys and hustlers and like literally.
You've seen this room? Did you go with him?
I didn't see it. He was
I thought you
telling me
just
all
said
about
you
it.
did. Did you go to hold his hand, see him through?
No, I've
He's a
seen
nice
him.
Friend.
No, I would not do that. I've seen him on. There's TV shows that have referenced this, movies. But my buddy was telling me all about it.
Wouldn't the whole time you're thinking like, God, how many dudes have sat in this chair and whipped one out?
I think you can bring your girl into some of them too.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
It's kind of your own closet, you know.
The lazy boy was comfortable. The TV was nice, big flat screen, but the damn DVD player wasn't working. Shitty is that?
Oh, so you're
I
back
couldn't
to
get
still
any
pictures.
bars on my phone either, says Cam. I had to do this the good old-fashioned way with no accoutrements. The whole IVF event is very time-sensitive. Add to that all the pressure of the cost at stake, the years of trying and failing, the overall weirdness of jacking it into a cup where people save lives, and the fact that you can hear nursing staff in the hallway discussing important business documents. It felt like it took me forever to get anything going down there. About a half an hour went by before I could even get any real momentum going. When I finally did get in the zone and the moment arrived, I grabbed the cup, took aim, and whammo! There wasn't even enough of cam chowder to paint a dime.
Oh. See the pressure he was under?
Oh, man! Oh, Lord! Oh, Jesus!
Because you know what? It felt like this to him when it was happening. He felt like he was going to take the ceiling out.
Then he looked and it's like, oh, God. I started to panic. There's no way that was going to be enough. Now I'm starting to go soft, and there's nothing for me to watch to get back into it. With the stakes being as high as they were for us, I decided to soldier on and double my efforts. I started beating it like a monkey in the corner of the exhibit at the zoo and got the job done. Well done, Ken.
Really?
I left that room feeling conflicted. Glad it was over. Glad I got my task done, and ashamed, repulsed at myself all the same time. With the hordes of TDC fans anxiously awaiting this flute event to occur, I think there's enough pressure on Mike without E needing to examine the results prior to fluting. On a side note, the IVF procedure worked, but was short-lived. Oh, when we miscarried a month later.
Oh, no.
The battle continues.
Oh, poor guy.
Good luck, Cam.
I imagine Cam, like, the visual in my head is like...
Yeah, thanks, Cam, by the way. We're imagining you whacking off.
I'm for the sake of my vision, he's circed, at least. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I've got him circed, too.
Do you? So I picture he's got the cup, and he delivers this dime. What do you say? It wouldn't cover a dime?
Wouldn't paint a dime.
Wouldn't paint a dime, yeah. I imagine he's squeezing the head and trying to, like rub it across the side of the cup to get every little guy in there. You know
He's
what I
got
mean?
the lip of the cup. Yeah, kind of just squeezing against it.
Come on.
Drip down there.
Come on, I know. Shake it out a little bit. Come on, get up. It's got it like the toothpaste tube.
Right. You're like, what? One more brush. Come on, one more brush.
You can give me one more clean tooth. You son of a bitch. You got one more in. And then you're doing that thing where you're squeezing the foot to the point that it's hurting your
You've
thumbs.
got both hands, and now how do I get my brush to touch
Yeah.
that? Well, I've got both hands on the toothpaste.
I've actually gotten
You
to the
just
point
go
where
ahead
it's
and
like,
apply it to your teeth.
I've done that, but the other move is when I've squeezed it like this, and it's like, come on, you son of a bitch, he's out a quarter of an inch now.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, and I've gotten a pinky in there and just like grabbed it, and then taken the pinky to
nice
my
move with
yeah.
the pinky.
I didn't know what else to do.
Kind of sneak up on it with the pinky.
Yes,
Well
exactly.
done.
Oh, and because dude, there's nothing worse than when you get it out there half an inch, and then you go to grab your brother and whoonk, jumps back down like a scared turtle.
Hey, we'll save the rest for tomorrow.
All right. When do we? E, have you looked into shipping flutes yet? You want me to do that?
I wrote myself a note
of this.
to jump on the Amazon link today and figure out if we can't get a couple.
Well, you've got Prime at your house, don't you?
Yeah.
So you could probably get free overnight. Is it free overnight or?
It's free shipping. I don't think it's overnight, but
Well, we need to get on that. Maybe we could shoot for Monday or something if we can get that thing delivered over the weekend. I'm sure I could produce something.
okay.
If you're up for it, E.
He's up
Good.
for it.
Excellent.
We got it. It's confirmed.
All right. We have probably successfully grossed out 90% of our audience at this point.
And the other 10% have high school football playing sons.
Hell yeah, we're Warriors. God damn it, Warriors. Friday Night Lights.
Love you, John.
All right, everybody. We'll do it again tomorrow. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.